Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel for this weekend edition of Trade Talk. Josh Battle's gone. We know that. Josh Battle's gone. He's going to go to the Hawks. But now that raises the discussion on who plays that position next year, right? So a lot of people are saying you can throw Max King back there. Some people are suggesting Caminiti, which I did in my last video. I thought, well, we've trialled him there. He played a couple of games there last season. And he looked all right, and maybe he's a forward that can grow into that position, while Sharman, Owens, King, these other players can kind of focus on the forward half of the ground. So outside of what we can do internally, I'm just looking at sort of the recent news over the last couple of days on players that we might be looking at that could maybe be a little bit of a stopgap. Maybe not the gun, we're not going to get a Barras, we're not going to get a Sam Taylor, as much as I'd love Sam Taylor. Who can play that sort of second, third tall defender next season that might be on another list and we might be able to, grab for nothing, basically. So the first one that's been much talked about, Sam Edmund posted about this the other day. I think he's an unrestricted free agent at Melbourne, is Adam Tomlinson. So obviously I think Zane Cordy's still on the list, so I don't know if we persist with Zane Cordy, but anyway, this is the news that I've been hearing. Adam Tomlinson, 31 years old, 194 centimetres. He only played the 8 games this year, 9 games 2023, 8 games in 2022, 7 games in 2021, and obviously he came over from the GWS Giants, where he was there for a good sort of 7 seasons and played a lot of football. He averages around 15 possessions a game. Funnily enough, his season highs were against St Kilda, 25 disposals against the Saints this season, but he averages 15 for the year, a couple of tackles, 6 spoils, which is above average this season. Intercept marks only 1.4, which is definitely lower than Josh Battle. 31 years old, hasn't played a lot of football, wouldn't cost much. He's a big boy. And we're not getting these sort of players to be the gun fullback. So we have to remember that he's probably playing on the third tall forward. These types of players, I can trust that Ross will just give them the most basic instructions, and distribution's not really a problem here. Obviously Battle was very good by foot, but if you've got Naz and Sinks and these guys in the back half, you'd imagine just run past, get the hands at any point if someone like Tomlinson's in that back line. Obviously he's out of favour at Melbourne. They've always had a pretty strong backline. He was good, through 2020, and he missed the premiership, obviously, through injury. So he's an option there. I'm not really a huge fan. I have obviously gone and consulted with, Melbourne Demon supporters in regards to him and his form and if he would be a fit. And to be honest, the reception has been, no, he isn't that good. So, I'm sure Bulldog supporters said the same thing about Zane Cordy, and Ross kind of gave him a very basic task, and he stuck to it, whether it was forward or back, and he did his job. So I'm kind of looking at it from the perspective of, depending on, it's more about how they fit our system than maybe how they've gone previously. But if you're not going to give up much, which you wouldn't for someone like Adam Tomlinson, then maybe for a year it could be okay, but probably not the ideal scenario. Obviously, a lot of people suggested Ari Shawnmaker as well, but I still don't see Ari as that Josh Battle replacement. I see him as a tall Daniel Rich that can run and create and get 25 possessions, not be a accountable one-on-one defender like Josh Battle, but remains to be seen. I could be proven wrong, and happy to be. The other one that's kind of been more recently popping up, this one's actually very recent, in the last day or two, is out of Essendon, Jayden Laverde, 28 years old, 193 centimetres. He's been told by Essendon that he is not being offered a new contract and he has to look around for a new club. So this is one that has just come up. I believe St Kilda are looking at this, obviously from a distance. Obviously younger than Tomlinson, so he's 3 years younger. He's played more football in the last, 4 years. You know, he's averaging maybe 18 games plus a season in the last, 2021, he played 23 games, 2022, 22 games, 2023, 19, and this year he played 21 games for the Bombers. Before that, he'd played under 11 games every season. So he's got some consistency. It doesn't look like he's sort of an injury-prone player, maybe like what an Adam Tomlinson would be. He doesn't have a contract, so he's basically, it's a freebie, it's a free hit. He's 193 centimetres. His averages this season are pretty similar to Tomlinson. 16 disposals, more spoils though, nearly 4 spoils per game, 2 tackles. He's intercept marks, 2 marks. Top season disposals was 28. I have consulted with an Essendon friend of mine in regards to Laverde. Obviously, I'm not going to just do these videos and not have any information for you, Sainers. We're all about quality here at Saints TV. And this is exactly what he said. So I just said, Laverde, is he good? Is he bad? He said pretty average, physical and fearless, but his ball use is quite bad, makes some dumb decisions too when defending. He said if he doesn't have to take the number one forward, he's usually passable, but he gets outsmarted by good forwards a lot. Doesn't get pushed around though, which is sometimes all you need. He's a big gamer, plays a heap of Fortnite and streams it. Lol. Okay. When he says, doesn't get pushed around, and is pretty strong in the contest, that's a good sign because that's the way I saw Josh Battle. Doesn't get pushed around, doesn't get manhandled. You rarely saw a forward get hold of someone like Josh Battle. And Tomlinson, 193 centimetres is essentially, that's the same size as Josh Battle, right? Like, let's just double check. How tall was Josh Battle? 193 centimetres. Obviously, weight, we don't know, but I'd imagine they'd be quite similar in build as well. Laverde averaged 64 fantasy points this season, whereas Josh Battle averaged 74. So disposal-wise, 15.9 versus Battle 17.8. Spoils, 3.8 Battle, 3.6 Laverde. Tackles, 1.3 Battle, 1.6 Laverde. Intercept marks, 2.6 Battle, 1.9 Laverde. So, I don't like picking up other teams' scraps, but it just depends on our approach next season. Do we just want to bite the bullet and just play Caminiti and Ari there? And if they get, bags kicked on them, we just persist until they're ready? Or do we bring in a senior, player that's played, a lot of football in his career, over 131 games, is a big boy, plays that position already, and is just, get him on a 1 or 2 year deal and still filter Caminiti and Ari through there, but obviously you want that. I always think, the 3 talls, that's always important. Howard, Wilkie, Battle. Howard, Wilkie, question mark. Who's that going to be? Is it going to be Caminiti? Is it going to be Ari? Is it going to be Cordy? It's not going to be Max King as much as some people suggested. Is it going to be Laverde? Is it going to be Tomlinson? Is there someone else from another club? I'd love to look at, obviously this isn't going to happen because I think he's going to be quite in demand and won't leave this season, but Leek Aaliyah. He's 194 centimetres, 23 years old, and is just a highly, highly talented player. He was pick 15 in the 2021 national draft. He's played 12 games this season. His stats don't show it yet because he's still building. He's only played the 8 games this season, 0 last season, and 4 in 2022. But you can just tell he's got enormous potential. And in a backline like the Giants, which is fairly stacked, to be honest, he's not maybe getting as much looks as he probably deserves. He would definitely be playing consistent football in other teams, but he's not. He's only played the 12 games in 3 seasons at GWS. So that's another one. I think he's contracted until end of next year, I believe. I don't know if that's one that we could look at this season, but that would be unreal. 23 years old, 194 centimetres, that's a future prospect. Complete opposite to Tomlinson and Laverde, who are very much, just a 1 or 2 year solution and not the long-term plan. Not the defender that's going to play in our next premiership, probably. Definitely not Tomlinson. So Leek Aaliyah could be exciting, or we just look internal and we back what we've got already. Maybe there's someone that hasn't debuted yet that could potentially go there. I know Isaac Keel has been playing down there at Sandy, but I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe that's just to teach him his forward craft and he's eventually going to play forward anyway. But that's it, Saners. Let me know what you think in the comments. The Josh Battle replacement, it's disappointing, but that's the way it is. He's left. Now we need to find a way to balance that in the back half. I kind of feel like our backline's going to be fine regardless. The system's good, and I feel like it's more about, the structure than the individual parts of that structure. So hopefully we can find someone that can just balance that backline again with Wilkie and Dukes, and put in the comments, let me know who you think we should keep an eye on, or maybe we should just invest internally and play Ari there. So I'll wrap it up there. Thanks again, Saners. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as always, go you mighty Saners. See you guys.